We are hanging out here at the Cork Dorks. We're going to go live with our friends at CASS Winery. The whole crew is there. We got Steve Cass. We got Ted Clemens. You guys, let's bring you in right here. Thanks for being here. Happy Friday, guys.
Happy Friday, brother. Cheers. This is the gala that didn't quite happen.
It's so good to see you both. I mean, with everything going on, it's been a long time since we've seen some of our friends. We have so much to talk about. We're going to have the next 2 hours to hang out with Steve Cass and Ted Clemens, owners there of CASS Vineyard and Winery. We're going to talk GENESEO INN. I got some pictures here, guys. This is incredible what you guys put together. You must be so excited.
Well, you know, I'm going to have a life again. It's been my whole life for the last 2 years in building, because we had to hand make everything. Which, not, you know, I couldn't use a saw and a nail. I had to use a cutting torch and a grinder.
Yeah, when we started this project in 2014, this sounds so naive when I think about it right now. I remember telling Ted, well, it'll take us 2 or 3 months to get the permits and we'll be up in next year. And he looked at me and he said, you don't understand.
And, how instrumental was it to have someone like Ted in the mix who's so connected in this industry already, Steve?
From a construction perspective,
yeah.
I don't know that anybody could have done it better. They might have been able to do it equally, but it takes somebody who's super flexible and willing to deal with, some of the, I guess you say, frustrations in dealing with the different bureaucratic entities. Not that they're bad people, not that they made bad decisions, but we were doing something really super unique, and every person that gets assigned to it has to learn a whole new set of rules just for our project. And Ted was good at being equal parts pushy, but equal parts nice guy to work with. And right. It was difficult to get through. I don't know who else could have done it.
Well, one thing that I've always loved about you guys is the story. Your story is so fun and it's so real. And I want to definitely touch on that sometime over this 2 hours. We are completely commercial free. And if you could see your screen, I want to take you back a little bit because it was just in the news that we won't be having the Mid-State Fair this year. But do you remember this picture?
Oh, I do remember that picture. You look younger.
I know. That's a few pounds probably lighter too. That's pre-COVID. That's pre-quarantine. Now with all these Zoom things, and I understand Ted just got off a Zoom thing a little while ago. I was going to say, Ted, prove that you have pants on, but I can clearly see you have pants on. And with
I got no socks on, brother. There we go.
I think this is only the second Zoom, or not Zoom, I shouldn't say Zoom. We're on our own proprietary kind of platform here, but it's the second one of these virtual meetings where I've actually worn pants. So consider yourself very lucky. I'm clothed for you. Hey, so I kind of want to explain a little bit how this is going to go. We're going to be here for the next couple hours, and what's exciting is that you guys have been generous enough to give out some great promotions. We're going to talk a lot about the different things that are happening at CASS as far as the GENESEO INN, obviously with the release of, some of these restrictions that have been on us. You guys will be open a little bit more, and because you guys have long had highly acclaimed food, you guys are going to be, I imagine, open quicker, but you're going to see the bottom of the screen. You're going to see a little ticker that's going to go across. You guys have been nice enough to extend some really cool savings for your fans, and we're going to have all those. There are going to be 4 ones throughout our time here, and they're going to be rotating at the bottom. And anything you want to get, any bottle specials that we talk about, just jump on the CASS Facebook page, and you don't even have to go through their website. You can literally just comment there, boom, get me 2 of the Viognier, and you're good to go. You guys have really set it up so easy, and it was so great working with Chandy and the team.
Awesome. Looking forward to it.
Well, as we get liquored up, who knows what could happen, my brother.
Yeah, we've seen so many of these virtual tastings, and I always remember Ted calls it, we ain't tasting, we drinking. We are virtual drinking. First thing we're going to virtual drink, it is the 19 Viognier, always one of my favorites of you guys Talk about this wine a little bit.
Well, I want to talk a little bit about the first, back when the vineyard was first planted in 1999, 2000. The first wine that was exceptional right out of the gate was the Viognier.
Well, let me back up just a little bit before that.
Okay.
So when we were planting the vineyard, John Crossan, he had just come down from Napa, had been managing Beckstoffer's vineyards up there, started his own business down here. I hired him to plant these 160 acres. He said, "What kind of white wines do you want to plant?" I came out of financial services, so I don't know that much about it. So I said, "Well, how about Chardonnay?" He goes, "No. Chardonnay is kind of a cool weather grape. It does really good closer to the coast and wants to do some good here." I said, "Well, how about Pinot?" And he said, "Same thing. It's a cool weather grape." He said, "Have you ever tried Viognier?" I said, "No, I really don't know that grape." So we'll tell you what, why don't you get some before our next meeting, taste it, tell me what you think, and that's a possibility. It might do well here. So I came back 2 weeks later. He said, "What did you think of that Viognier?" I said, I didn't really like it. It was kind of flabby. It didn't have much acid. And so how much did you spend for the bottle? I said, "I think $6 or $7. Cheap son of a bitch.
Pardon your finance.
I went out and got, a $20 bottle. We came back a week later. "Oh, you're saying it's going to grow well here? Plant
And here I am. I'm hitting the road with the first time that wine's out in the market. The Viognier has been a rock star from day one, and I think it's also how we make it, but it's where it's living in the vineyard. So this has been one of our rock stars all these years.
The 2019 Viognier. Do we know, either of you gentlemen, what you guys do for this in the tasting room?
Pardon me, what's that question?
Can you not hear me as well? What does this cost in the tasting room? Is my audio still good? Are we good?
Oh, you're good. We hear you. I just didn't get what you said.
Oh, yeah. What do you guys charge for this in the tasting room?
No, good question. We just drink it.
I think it's $24.
Even more like 26.
Oh, good.
We've got it bounced around.
I love 26.
Last couple of years. I think it's yes.
What is it? Oh, it's 28.
I love it. I love it. It's got that complexity. It's got a lot of crispness. It's a lot of fun, this wine. It's a 2019 Viognier from CASS. It's the Cork Dorks hanging out live with CASS. It is a Friday. How has CASS had to pivot with everything going on? And then let's, kind of talk about what you've been doing. And then with changes and restrictions being lifted, I imagine with food, you guys are probably in a little bit better shape than some that don't. Am I correct?
I don't think there's more than 5 or 10 wineries that can open right now, because you have to be able to serve food, which means you have to have that food service license. So we have a limited restaurant license, limited by the hours that we're open, but it's a restaurant license. And I think there's 4 or 5 wineries that have that kind of license. So we've been selling food to go. So we sell 10 meals a day. It's not, so we kept all of our staff, all of our salary people stayed on. A couple of them helped out in the tasting room. The crew that helped us do this Facebook thing, they all stayed on. Of course, for event people, like Michelle, who's setting up events, those things are going to be 6 months down the road. Hey, you can get here. So we kept everybody. So it's slow. Online sales were off the charts good. Thank you, Chanda and Chanda's team, for doing the virtual tastings. We did a good group.
It looks like I have a little bit of a mic problem. I wonder if you guys I don't understand what, and I'm not sure that mic is even picking you up, because you sound like I hear the mic in the back of the room, but I just know that it's a little bit tough to hear you, and I'm getting a little bit of comments that there's a little bit of tough time to hear you. But there's also a lot of comments that say they love this Viognier.
The thing that I like about this sort of being stuck on the ranch, I travel a lot this time of year. Well, I haven't traveled, and I've been able to be on the ranch, and I like being home. But start this tasting, drinking with Steve and Ted.
Yeah, let's try this. I hate to interrupt you, Ted. It's just we can't hear you right now. It sounds so faint. I can tell that you're there, but it's so faint. Well, I want to definitely see what we can do about the mic on that end. It looks like a lot of folks. So I think my audio is fine. It's something on that end. So I don't know if maybe we could just for the moment bring the computer closer to you guys, or it's like all these things are marred with a little bit of these. It's what makes it interesting. It's what makes it fun. And thank God we got CASS Wine to do it. I hear a little bit more sound right there. That sounds good. That's promising. So we got the 2019 Viognier in the glass right now. I'm going to mute them while they do a lot of the mic stuff. 2019 Viognier in the glass. This is the Cork door. It's really our first show live post-COVID that we have done. We're so excited to have our friends. That's Steve Cash that you see on the right. That is Ted Clemens that you see on the left. Let me give you guys a check again. How is it? Give me a little test one, test two.
Okay, can you hear us better now?
That's a lot better. Yeah. That's a lot better.
The girls did it.
It was the plug and unplug.
You know, we're going to understand how to do this better. So
We have a good technical here.
It's all good. Sweet. So forgive me for kind of retouching on some of the things that we last tackled on. As far as we got it, we're just doing 28 for the Viognier. That's awesome. It's really a wine that like really over delivers, and I know that's kind of been a thing with you guys for a long time. We're going to talk to Sterling Crackton, your winemaker, in a little while. And I remember, you know, again to bring up the fair, I remember he's just got this real enthusiastic drive and competitive nature. And when it came to putting his first wines in the Central Coast Wine Competition, which has just been postponed a little bit this year for folks that need to get into it. He was like, Steve, we're putting them all in. Every single one, put them in.
And we didn't know what the rules were in terms of, you know, winning winery of the year. It turns out you just have to put a minimum of 5 wines in. Not knowing that, he put in 14 wines into the competition.
Really?
So if you're trying to win winery of the year, you want to put your 5 best because everyone needs to score well. It turns out all 14 got some kind of award or another, and a few of them got super high awards. That's sort of how we ended up winning it.
Oh, that's so cool.
Sterling, you know, he was the new guy on the block sort of at the time, and he proved his worth.
I can't wait to check in with him later on. Right now, during this time until 5:30, so for another 12 to 13 minutes, we got you $1 shipping on bottles while supplies last. This Viognier we got in the glass, the birth of the vineyard, the birth of the GENESEO INN. We talked about the vineyard. It's a cool story. Let's talk about this GENESEO INN. You guys are there right now. I want to show you, give you a little bit of an idea on what we're talking about here, because Ted, I know we've been talking about this for a long time, and to see it come to fruition, to see heads on those pillows, it must be so rewarding for you and your partner there.
Oh, brother, I got to tell you, there's so many stories that we could talk about. The architect that designed it, but I built multi-million-dollar structures that are easy compared to what this was. You owe me, by the way, partner.
I've heard
you owe me. Yeah, big time.
So we should talk about why.
Yeah.
So I wanted to have a B&B that was not just nice, but off the charts interesting. And so the guy that did the design for me came up with a beautiful B&B design, but it looked like every B&B in the county that's a nice B&B. I said, no, I want something that has, you know, a high level of interest. So what do you know about shipping containers? And he said, well, I really don't know anything about them, but I know a guy in Southern California that knows something about them. So he referred me to this Walter Perry down in Southern California at Ecotech. So I called the guy up. He's a kind of a talkative, friendly guy. He's 81 years old now. He's an older guy, but really into the eco mode. So we set up a meeting with him, and I ended up hiring him just because of his expertise in shipping containers. But I got to tell you what kind of person he is. So if you've seen the movie Back to the Future,
yeah,
and you know the character Doc Brown.
Oh, sure.
That's him, baby. That's who we hired. We hired a Doc Brown doppelganger. The guy, crazy, wild, white hair out here, and he talks about everything except the subject at hand. So I'll relate some of the stories Ted told me, and Ted can tell you the rest of them. But you know, there'd be a day where, okay, Walter, today the guys that are installing the wall outlets in the containers down in Los Angeles, they need to know exactly where all these things are going to go. he said, no, you can't put rosemary outside these buildings. He said, can we talk about the ornamentals later? Today, we need to know what the electrician's going to do. And furthermore, there needs to be, more brightly colored flowers or whatever. And he wanted like total control over everything, and you couldn't control what he wanted to talk about. But he was, like Doc Brown, a little bit of a genius.
Yes.
So if you listened to him and put up with him, you got seriously improved design. And Ted, to his credit, listened and put up with him.
Well, and one of the things that makes these unique is every room is different. And like I have access to some 200-year-old Missouri barnwood, and I took some of that barnwood, I whitewashed it, we blackened it, we made headboards. We took the roof of these 200-year-old barns and we put up in the clear stories. Every room is different, which is a real pain, by the way, partner.
And the landscaping in front of every room is different.
And you park under them, but you get to stand and look over the vineyard. And the view when you walk in is what we wanted. We wanted that view of the vineyard. And now what we're doing is we're bringing the vineyard back in and planting all the way up close. So the main landscaping is the vineyard. So it's pretty unique, very unique.
Now, I've seen these containers. We've heard and read articles about them being used for homes and things like that. How tough is it to convert these things to high-end accommodations? I mean, I was talking to Chando. One of these is in the back, and it's got, different rooms. And we're talking about a shipping container just kind of put just so where you can literally make it a luxury accommodation. How tough of a transition is that?
There you are. You froze. There you are. Well, what's really unique about them is they're two containers put together, and we offset them so you had a door in and out. But truly, the softening that we did, and we softened them with it, and they're highly insulated. They're very comfortable. In fact, I've slept in 3 of them already. Sorry, Park. I will sleep in all of them.
He's got his initials carved in the bed. We don't want to go there.
Yeah, right. I hope that's all he's left there. I love it. We got Ted Plemons. He's on the left. Steve Cass is on the right. Our friends at CASS Winery. It is the first of a Cork Dorks episode we have been able to do with our friends in Paso wine country since all of this began. I'm excited that, we're going to talk more about the GENESEO INN. In fact, in a little while, I'm going to take you on a little bit of a video tour. I've got some video that was sent to me that really walks through some of these rooms. And one thing that was so cool, I loved, is that when Chanda was taking me on a tour the other day, like outside Ebony and Ivory, different landscape. Outside, there's a more rustic one. Everyone has got its own personality, even within just in the few feet in front of its front door, Steve.
So the guy that's our landscaper, he doesn't look like a designer. I'm guessing he's about my age. He's in his 60s, and he works outdoors, so he's in his work clothes. But he came up with some really interesting design elements. When you think of a landscape designer doing something really elegant, I mean, I kind of think of kind of a younger person straight out of college who's coiffed to the nines, and that's not Richard. Richard's. I hope he doesn't hear this, but he's not a pretty person, but he's brilliant in terms of the work that he does. So we're extremely excited. It was a pleasant surprise to see how great it worked out.
Well, for instance, Country Roads, which is my favorite. We did some very special work inside with barrel staves. There's corn planted in the front yard. So when that corn grows up to 6 to 8 feet, think what Country Roads is going to look like.
It's already
doubled
in size. And he found an old piece of farm equipment that cuts weeds, and it's probably 100 years old and it's rusty and it doesn't work, but it's kind of a cool looking piece of equipment, and that's mounted sort of in the middle of the corn.
But Easy Rider's cool. I have a little icon there now. It's a little motorcycle. Well, it's the motorcycle room. It's the Harley Davidson room. I'm looking for an old rusty Harley. We're going to half bury it in the front yard, and we're going to plant flowers in it. So we're working on that. So
over time, the gardening in front of every room will start to match the design element that's on the inside.
That's so cool. That's so cool. This is really exciting. The GENESEO INN is open right now. In fact, for the next 5 minutes, we have that $1 shipping. I'm kind of perusing through some of the comments as you gentlemen are talking, and Diane's like, yeah, give me 6 bottles of those. Boom, the 2019 VNA. Let's do it. $1 shipping. They're doing that for the next 5 minutes. Easiest way. You don't have to go to the website, go through anything. Literally, just put a comment. If you're watching on the CASS Facebook, just throw a comment down. The team's there waiting for you, and they'll help you out right now. Now, we're airing this on the Krush Facebook page, also the Cork Dorks Facebook page. I've also shared it on mine. So if you do see this on any other of those pages but want to get that order in, just head over to CASS. You'll see the same video. Just comment on there, and they're going to hook you up.
You know what I've said, brother, this whole time through this is, wine we have, money we don't. So buy some wine, for God's sake. Yeah,
yeah, right. Yeah. Isn't that funny? And let me ask you, because I was talking to Gary Everly, and this was like mid-April when things were super tough, and like we were getting some real, bad news, economic things certainly starting to slow down. And he's like, I had my best March. Like a lot of solid wineries, like you guys have had some great months.
Exactly.
Yeah, with the uptick in online sales, the new thing, the virtual wine tasting, and the sales that go with that, slightly reduced expenses because we're not buying a bunch of food to sell to people. We came out not that far off, not disastrously far off.
Right. Let me ask you, Ted, because I know, Ted, you will spend a lot of time working the markets and really, pushing Paso and pushing the CASS brand and expanding your the message out there. Although obviously, work with and market visits. I mean, knowing you're probably still doing them, but there's a lot of this stuff is slowed down. How have you kind of pivoted on the in the 3-tier aspect?
Well, actually, we're not doing any market visits at all. But what we've started to do is I'm doing virtual GSMs with my sales staff around the country, where I sit and do this, and talk to them, and we taste the wines. But the off-premise has been phenomenal. On-premise restaurants aren't happening at all. But people are sequestered shit they need to drink, for God's sake. So guess what? They're buying wine. We're not that far off from our normal. Because
he did a virtual tasting with 2 people that work in the hospital industry in Los Angeles just before we got online with you guys.
Point being is we're not that far off because people are still buying wine, but they're just not going to restaurants. But that's going to start up. It's starting up again.
So we're feeling really good.
I'm getting spoiled. I tell Megan's sort of pissed at me because I go, I may never have to travel again. And she goes, no, you're not going to do that. Because I'm pretty spoiled being home, baby.
I know. It must be nice, too. It must be nice. And, it's really important that, who knows, this is an incredible time. Had this not been going on, to probably be working some of your, strong markets. And to see the fruition of everything with the GENESEO INN coming to, all the T's crossed and I's dotted, it's got to feel really special to be there. Everyone's there. The whole team is all over it. And the GENESEO INN, we're totally open, right? Obviously, I know Newsom wants us like 50% capacity. So are we doing that? Do you have to do that? What are the things there?
We did a promotion to our wine club people, offering them an extreme discount to stay in the room because we want to make sure the service level is really perfect. We did a soft opening with just some friends and family a few weeks ago, and that was helpful. But we want to have people in here on a regular basis for a couple of weeks so we can make sure that service is really dialed in. So we're totally booked. We got this promotion out to our wine club people, and it filled up all the rooms we had available, which is only 4 of the 8. It filled up like in an hour. Filled up really quickly.
Oh man! Oh, whoopsie. Right.
So we're cautiously optimistic that once things start to open up more, we'll be in fantastic shape.
Your last chance, if you're watching this on the CASS Facebook, to get for literally $1 shipping right now while supplies last. Get on it. We're doing really fun, cool deals every half hour. And we're just about
that. I love that.
I know. This is great. This is so cool.
I got a story.
It's like,
I got a quick story. So that first weekend that we sort of had a soft opening, my partner lost his truck. We were so festive that day that he lost his truck on the ranch.
I was standing next to it all night long. I was standing next to it all night long. And then when it came to go home at the end of the night, I went to where I had originally parked it earlier in the day.
Oh my gosh.
that I had moved it. I just assumed it was stolen.
Hey, thank God for Alice.
So I told Alice to come pick me up. Next morning, I come down here thinking my truck is stolen, and I call Ted, and the phone rings, and it's right behind me.
Because I lost my phone
He lost
that
his
night
phone.
too.
And then Alice was telling me she can't find her hat. She lost her hat.
So we were very festive that night.
I always have said that Ted is a combo of Richard Branson and Steven Tyler, like had a baby. I think you guys are both pretty much equal party animals, though.
I've been working on this guy for 20 years. I got it. He's as crazy as I am right now, brother.
he's loyal.
This is like it's like I'm doing a Cork Dorks episode, but I'm also like on QVC with all these deals and stuff. So it's 5:31 right now, and we're by the way, for just joining us, I'm Adam Montiel, Cork Dorks here with the Krush 92.5. We're hanging out with our friends from CASS Winery. You could see we got Steve Cass on the right there, Ted Clemens on the left. We are going to bring in some other folks in just a bit. We're going to bring in Chanda, Chef. I think Gail's going to jump on pretty much a little later on too. So we're gonna see the whole fam, and it's really a special time. We're getting into another wine in a second, but I will tell you for this half hour, we are doing something pretty cool. Buy one get one for a dinner event at CASS. They got events all through the summer. And your events now, because the Cork Dorks were there when you did the grand opening for your event center. It is so badass what you guys have put together there. Talk about what's evolved and how you guys have put some polish on it. Because when we were there, it was brand new, but I imagine you guys have been tinkering with it a bit and playing with it a bit and making it perfect for when we do events there.
I have a great story to start it off. So, yeah. June 3rd, my daughter had the first wedding at the event center. But the Thursday before, I finaled it. So I had no pressure from Thursday to Saturday. But she was visiting a month earlier, and she came to me at the end of the walkthrough. She says, Dad, don't make it look like a construction site. Mm-hmm. That last month of a project is. So that started. We did 185 people 3 days after we fined it for my daughter's wedding was the first one there. And then it's taken off since, brother.
And the B&B.
Wow.
B&B here just got final day before yesterday.
I have a life now. I have a life.
I love it. What have you guys been doing? Let me ask you, like with all this going on, and that's one thing that I've always loved about our vibe is that we just talk super real. How have you guys been dealing with all this? Like, what's been some of the things in your mind, or you get into some more home projects? I mean, we're hanging up some curtains over here. I got a tower garden. Check out this tower garden I got. We got some vertical farming,
A month ago, I look up at my partner when this all started shutting down. I did exactly this. Really, partner? Is this shit? We're ready to open after 6 years of all of this,
and the shit happened.
And it happened. And I look right at it.
I know.
But guess what? We've weathered it, and we will weather it. And with our staff and everything that we're doing to make it just proactive and different, it's going to be even better than before. But wow.
One thing that we've seen when our country deals with anything is this incredible aspect of will that you speak of. But I kind of want to converse that a bit in like to Paso. Like, what have you noticed with your brothers and sisters in Paso? How this has been as far as supporting local and getting back into the swing of things, and of course being this all together. What have we noticed with our brothers and sisters in Paso? How we've dealt with this?
That's a tough question, Adam. I don't really talk to them. We have a Backroads group. There's 24 wineries in our Backroads group, and we had planned an event on April, which of course we had to cancel, and then we rescheduled it for late August. But then it conflicted with what the Wine Alliance wanted to do, so we moved it to early August. So
right.
the 24 wineries were going back and forth about the best way to deal with this. And I guess I would say the interaction, the communication was really positive and supportive, and let's try to make this happen. So if it comes off, and it's not, it might be the very first wine event that we do, as we come out of this, being August 1st.
What do you say, gentlemen, we pour some of the 2019 Oasis?
And I think for people that want to sit down here with some really beautiful food.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yeah, we have some serious food grounding us.
Are you guys gonna come and sit?
Yep.
Yeah, we're
Joining?
gonna get the hook.
No, you guys are
We can hang and drink with you.
We're
Good.
gonna hang and drink.
We got some fun people showing up, guys.
You got those, Gail and Shonda?
Yeah, and chefs. Oh,
Chef,
Oh,
chef,
Chef
Let's
Charlie in there?
Just like little people.
This is my favorite.
oh
All
gosh.
right, we're hanging out with our friends from CASS. There's Chef Charlie. Oh, man. Oh, don't even tell me that's a Benedict.
This Charlie,
Oh,
Charlie,
this is kind of
Miss
Oh,
Cat Crab Cake.
oh, my God, Chef, that looks so good. Now, these are some of the breakfasts that are going to go down at the Geneseo Inn. Chef, let's break these down because right now, when people stay there, people can do this anytime, but you can deliver breakfast to the room. You got a communal area. People can enjoy it if they choose to. Those plates look incredible, Chef. Tell me what you got there, starting with the Benedict.
Okay, so we've got the crab cakes Benedict. About 16, 17 years ago, Mrs. Cass brought a recipe down to the tasting room and said, hey, I want to do these in our starting menu, our grand opening menu. And so we took her recipe and we put it together, and it started on the very first day that they ever served food here. So I figured that would be just apropos that it was becoming a breakfast for the brand new Geneseo Inn. So we took the crab cakes, topped it with a couple of beautiful poached eggs. We have our own chickens down there squawking and laying them daily. So, and then we made a beautiful hollandaise with a little orange zest, a little fresh fruit, and a little potatoes, and you got heaven.
Let me ask you a couple questions, Chef. One crab cake question. Crab cakes are best when they're not too crabby, but they're not too cakey. What is the secret to kind of really dialing that so you get all the crab flavor, but all that kind of guilty crunch and kind of hedonistic stuff you want too with them?
You got to eat the first four.
And that's Charlie.
Chef, that
Oh, my God.
It's like, okay, this one's great. We're there.
Oh,
No, literally.
I love it.
If a chef doesn't taste his own food, I'm sorry, but he's not a chef.
Never trust the
So
skinny chef.
if I don't like it, my customers aren't going to get it. If I love it, my customers 9 times out of 10 will love it. So
no,
that's the brand.
hollandaise sauce. What is a good? You have any little tricks we can do this at home? Everyone's got a little different take on it, but hollandaise sauce. When you have one that is just dialed in, it's perfect.
Well, you just open the packet and you pour it into the hot water. No, just kidding. No, I will literally walk out of a restaurant if I find out that that's what they're serving. Basically, it's all understanding the egg. You know, when you get into gastronomy and it gets into that deep thing, they start with an egg. And most great chefs out there will judge you by how well you can handle an egg's attributes. The yolk, the white, how it emulsifies, how it hardens, how quick does it cook, all the little nuances to make the perfect egg. So the egg is kind of where it really started. So basically, I take the egg yolks, I save the whites, we make meringues with them, we make all sorts of other fun things with. Take the egg yolks, put it into a nice bowl, usually something non-reactive, a nice stainless steel bowl or a glass bowl. Put your egg yolks in there, put your seasonings in there, a little mustard, a little cayenne pepper. The main thing that my trick is you temper the egg with a little bit of that boiling water that you're going to put it over to cook the egg. So for 2 eggs, an ounce of boiling water, and you whisk that in. The eggs are tempered. They're ready for heat. They're not going to turn into scrambled eggs in the bottom of your bowl. Once it starts to froth and foam up, you put it over to the side. You start drizzling butter in it slowly, and you end up with a perfect hollandaise every single time.
That's my man. Oh my God, I'm so coming there and trying those. Oh my God, I want the ebony and ivory room. It's on.
So yeah.
What are some of the other?
So Adam, can I tell you how we ended up hooking up with Chef?
This is good.
Please, I love this. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, good.
So when we opened up 15 years ago, we had a kitchen, and we were able to do winemaker dinners. So we brought in chefs from time to time to help us. And Charlie was one of the guys that came in and helped. And we started talking about maybe we should do cooking classes. And so he did some of our cooking classes. At the time, he was working for another winery. So just about that time where he started branching out and helping us with things, he decided to go on his own. So he's had his own catering business for some 15 years now.
Yeah.
And when he found out that we were looking for a chef, he came back to us, and we've known him for 15 years. He's been in our kitchen many, many times. He is incredibly professional with kitchen staff. Because a lot of people that come into a kitchen, they...
Oh, no. You guys have a reputation for being jackasses. You guys are horrible. Chefs are horrible. But sometimes the best chefs are complete. They're complete, you know what? But like, I think it's so right to have like you know, if it was a doctor, you would call it a bedside manner, like the decorum that you enact with, and it's important. I think that's really cool that Steve said that. And where did you learn that? Because it wasn't Gordon Ramsay. Where did you learn that, Chef?
Basically, I've been in this business now for 50 years cooking. This year. Wow. Under some of the meanest guys, they would throw pans at you, knives, slap that cutting board, scare the crap out of you. And I figured that's the way it is. And so I worked my way through kitchens, got my way into where I was in the lead position. And I said, you know what? I'm going to show them how it needs to be done. We're going to have fun in kitchen. Kitchen is poetry. Kitchen is fun. It's music. It's laughter. It's a little bit of chaos and a whole lot of work. But when you put all of that together at the end of the day with a smile on your face, everybody loves you. If you put it any other way, nobody loves you.
You know, it's funny because I've talked to some great chefs who sometimes will get a gig at a place, and the kitchen. I mean, you know, a lot of chefs don't get to build their own kitchen. But when the Cork Dorks did the grand opening of your hospitality center, I walked through that kitchen, and I'm looking at you right now like that must be such a blessing to prepare food in.
It's nice. It's got a lot of space. Now it's looking a little more lived in. You've got some great smells coming out of it.
I love that you did that, brother.
You know, you got to put some colored bowls over here, a little bamboo over here. It's got to be eclectic. It's got to be home. And I spend a good part of my day there. So I want music. I want things that are nice to look at. I want to laugh. I want to have fun. I want to eat great food and drink great wine.
Yeah.
I want you to get into the other dishes in a second. We talk about happy wine coming from a happy cellar. Look, we talk about. I mean, my girlfriend has said, you know, we try and get really good eggs. Happy eggs come from happy chickens, and happy wine comes from a happy cellar. Happy food comes from a happy, joyous kitchen, and you could tell that there is joy in those four walls of the kitchen of CASS, and those plates just in two dimensions show me that. Let's talk about some of the other dishes, Chef. Okay,
well, yeah, if there's no love in the kitchen, close it. So your next dishes, I'm going to jump into something sweet.
Oh, yeah, here we go, baby.
One of the funnest events I did is when we very first started the Paderewski Festival.
Walk that up, Gail. Grab that, Gail, and walk that up real quick, if you wouldn't mind.
So we had that whole Polish thing. Going on.
Take it right there. There it is.
Okay, she's got it. So what I did is I took pierogies, stuffed them with agave sweetened ricotta, and we made breakfast pierogies. So I said, I don't know any place I've gone that you can get them. So yeah, let's do it here. So we make them handmade every week, freeze them back, pull them out, pop them in the boiler, get them nice and soft, and then we fry them on each side so they got a little bit of texture to them, a little bit of fresh maple syrup, a little bit of the filling is put right on top with a little bit of microgreens, and then you got some apple chicken sausage or some of our own home smoked bacon. You know, it's a fun and different dish that you won't go across the street and get.
Now, both of those dishes would pair incredible with this rosé.
Right absolutely.
I mean, let's talk about the rosé. That's what we're drinking right now. It's the 2019 Oasis Rosé. Ted, can you break this one down for us?
I would love to that because Sterling's done such a great job with our rosés. You know, there's a couple ways to make rosés. One is a saignée where you grow a red wine, a grape to make a red wine, and you bleed some juice off. Well, Sterling a few years ago started doing where we direct presses. We purposely picked this fruit to make this wine. Very French style, beautiful. This is one of the best ones that we've made. Fabulous pairing with breakfast.
Yeah, beautiful, like platinum salmon color. Oh,
You know why we
good.
call it Oasis, brother? Because
Why?
we're an oasis in the wilderness out here.
Yeah.
Come to CASS, baby. You're the oasis in the wilderness.
Back roads. Gail, let me ask you, talk about things of late in your kind of neck of the woods and what your scope is with CASS and how things are evolving in this kind of present time where everything's kind of changing and opening up again.
Yeah, so I just joined CASS family, so that's an exciting thing for me.
Well,
I live right over the hill, so I said, what the heck? Great place to work. I can drive 2 minutes to work. No.
And you've only been a wine club member for how long?
And I've been a wine club member. I love CASS. I love the CASS family, so it was a great fit. Been in hospitality for forever.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you, when we started doing a better job of doing background checks, and it was the best. It was the best background check
After we hired
ever had.
yeah. After they hired Ted.
I'm sure I'm glad we skipped mine.
Love it.
I love it.
Solid.
Yeah.
Well, what I told Gail, because she's put up with me trying to finish these things with people still staying in them, the test runs, and I told her it will get easier.
It's only uphill from here. Downhill from here.
We're innkeepers now. Steve and I, we weren't ever wine people. Then we opened a restaurant. Now we're innkeepers, for God's sake.
Whole new
Yeah.
world.
We've got great people around us. And guess what? We're going to figure it out, and we're going to be the best because we're going to work hard to make that happen.
Yeah.
That's our commitment.
All
And
I
about
love it.
over the top.
And
Over
that's
the top hospitality.
It's really about the team and all the people.
Exactly.
Oh,
Everybody.
And that's what's
Yeah.
beautiful. Everybody's like vibing together and we're doing amazing things. Charlie's doing some gorgeous dinners here at CASS, which I know you guys have a list of events because we're going to be doing an awesome buy one, get one for dinners at CASS. So you guys need to come and join and taste this guy's food firsthand if you haven't already, and then stay the night at the Geneseo.
when the day
And then
comes,
taste it
we
again
can
in the
do a
morning.
real gala. We will.
Well, here's my goal. I want people to come to the inn, stay here,
Yep.
and I want them to have an opportunity to have a special dinner that they could not get in town because we got the man
Yes.
and the team. And I want to host a wine dinner here that they will not be able to get that experience. So that's the goal.
Yeah.
And we're going to do it every weekend. That's
Chand, I want to talk to you about some of these different events. And right now, for the next 12 minutes, you still can. You see the scroll at the bottom, buy one, get one for a dinner event at CASS. We got this page on now. You guys are doing things with French inspiration, Spanish inspiration, Moroccan, German. All these are up there. And a buy one, get one. Like we've just talked about, the acumen of the chef. Talk about some of these dinners and these events.
Well, we know that everybody's not traveling. We're not doing our European travels. And so we decided, hey, let's do a little European travel here at CASS. Midweek dinners. We're keeping them small because, we're playing it nice and safe and keeping things tidy. So we're just 10 people to table. They're very intimate. So this buy one, get one is a huge deal because that's going to fill up really fast. So make sure you get your spots. I know that a lot of them are already 50, 75% already purchased. So get on there. We're hoping that in July we'll be able to expand the table and in August expand the table because that's our heart. We love to gather 80 people around a long farmhouse on our veranda, watch the sunset together, have good music, amazing food from Charlie. And so that's what we do here. Ted and Steve raise amazing cattle. Fed here on the land, grass-fed, gorgeous beef, and we do an estate beef dinner series. And we do our annual surf and turf, which is super fun with Ted and Brian at table. We've got Ted who's land man, and we got Brian who's our surfer, Brian Cass. And so we break down with some seafood and steaks, and it's a gorgeous event. Always fun, a lot of fun. And I think
that's happening next week, right? June 5th.
That is next week, next Friday. And then we have the very first Wednesday around the world next Wednesday, which is the French food. So get your spots now because it is amazing listening to the hum around the table of just good conversation, hanging out, and having True Paso Robles hospitality. It's wonderful. And now you guys can like actually drink however much you want and
Yeah.
stay right.
Well, right now for the next 15, actually 10 minutes now, you're actually doing a buy one, get one free for these events, which is super cool. Buy one, get one free to these dinner events. I'm going to put up that page again because I know we're going to be wrapping up pretty soon as far as this special goes. But look at that. I mean, you got a June 5th dinner, surf and turf. That's around the corner. The trip around the world. That is a special, Chef, I'm super excited about because, I mean, can you give us a little bit of a tease into what the French menu is going to look like on the 3rd?
Tease them, bro.
Well, let's put it through. We're going to play a little bit with veal. We're going to play with the this true French style of eating. We're going to start with the muse. We're going to have a nice little first course. We're going to have a main course. Then we're going to have a nice little salad and finish with some cheese.
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say that. Anytime someone says they're going to finish with some
cheese, they'll make you cry. So it's going to be fun.
Oh, I love this. The sentence. We're going to finish with some cheese. I love it. We got Chef Charlie here. This is the team at CASS. Look at all those beautiful faces right there. Well, at least Gail and Chanda. But we also got Ted. We got Chef Charlie. We got Steve Cass here, and we're drinking the Oasis Rosé. This, like Ted said a few minutes ago, is it's intentionally grown for rosé. So what they'll do is they'll pick it a little bit early. They'll go direct to press, get that color. It's like that platinum salmon sexiness. I mean, it is just all good. Looking like palm trees on there. You ain't having no problem getting rid of this bottle of wine, even from selling it to me drinking it. What is the price on this one? Anyone?
I think it's 22.
Nice.
You know, you and I got to get our shit together.
You know what? This is our team calls this our porch pounder.
Oh yeah.
Because this is like good all summer.
If it's 100 degrees and you're drinking it, it's dangerous.
You know, one thing that Ted said a little while ago about wanting someone to have like the most unique experience when they come, whether it's to CASS or whether it's to the GENESEO Inn. I was talking a little bit off the air earlier today with Chanda, and like the bike tours, taking lunch into the vineyard with a couple bikes, or like Chanda kind of break down some of the ways that, I mean, look, I saw Jeffrey get married there, and probably one of the most beautiful scenes ever. Like, it was something out of like Wedding Magazine with the big oak, and then this old school car comes up, and then beautiful bride gets out, and then we're partying down, you know, by the taco bar, you know, on the grounds. I mean, this was even before you had the hospitality center and the GENESEO Inn. You're really upping the game. Chanda, what are some of the things you guys are doing to engage people, yet let themselves have their own special experience with CASS and GENESEO Inn?
Yeah, we actually have had a lot of fun developing a concept called CASS Camp. And essentially that was birthed out of when we started the barrel room, when we started construction, the barrel room and the GENESEO Inn, our permitting, they really wanted us to make sure that we had farm experience education. So I'm kind of one of those people who's like, that's great, but let's take that a little further. So we've actually developed CASS Camp. That's kind of like your adult summer camp. You can have horseback riding, archery, you can have cooking competition classes, beekeeping classes, olive oil pressing,
harvest,
wine blending classes, all sorts of fun things.
Harvesting beef.
Harvesting.
No one signed up for that yet.
What was it again? Harvesting what?
Well, I raised the beef on my ranch, and no one's willing to help me harvest them.
So I've been pushing to have this on the list for a long time. Harvesting sounds better than slaughter.
Well, no, it is a harvest.
Harvesting beef. So you need to kill the animal on the property and do whatever they do on the property. Follow it into the butcher shop and watch them break it down.
Yeah, well, partner.
There's nothing more agricultural than that. So now nobody signs up. I guess that's okay. So, but the county can't say we didn't.
You know what? I think that should be the cover of the new summer flyer for CASS.
Well, I don't think it'll work
with a picture of the cow. You know,
right? Yeah.
Signed up, but I'm willing to have someone help me do that. But.
So Adam, the idea is that people can come and have their like winery retreat, and they can cater it to their interests and their experiences. But then it's also this amazing way to have like team building experiences for corporations. especially after everything that's gone down over the last couple of months, just to kind of reconnect and be able to push each other and challenge each other. And I mean, we even have like scavenger hunts and all sorts of things like that. But really just, you know, and then you can only imagine the fun if you're having a bridal weekend here. It's insane.
Oh, unreal.
So we've had the horseback, Central Coast Trail Rides have been like partnered up with us for about a year probably. I did my first horse ride last week. And I got to tell you, they ride up through the vineyard, but then we go up on my property and it's very steep up out of the ranch. I've never seen the perspective of the ranch from that, sitting on a horse. It was the most incredible evening. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to encourage people to come out and see that because it's really incrediable. And
you know, you don't even have to be like an equine person to like necessarily derive the
Levi and a t-shirt, baby. You know, you just and Brian and Crystal are so awesome, and it's they pick the horse that fits you, and it's wonderful. So I would encourage people to do that.
Yeah,
I was impressed.
Yeah, that's wonderful because they like literally connect with you prior. They want to find out where your skill set is, so they connect you with the right horse.
Because I'm not a horse person at all.
Yeah, no, neither am I. I love the idea of like being on one and you're riding it and the peace that comes with it. And then you get to kind of connect to like this Americana past that was before us. That must have been so freaking cool. And then there's also like this kind, even if they're not running or trotting, there's this like this aspect of it like, this thing totally owns me right now. Whatever it does, I'm slave to. Like it's kind of fun. It's pretty adventurous. Horseback riding is so much fun. I love that you guys are offering that for people.
Yeah, it's part of Paso Robles. You know, it's like the true experience out here.
So Adam, we're in preliminary discussions to set up a race, a running race. It would be here.
Wow.
It'll be a year from now. It'll be whatever weekend happens to be the full moon. It's called the Silver Moon Race.
Silver Moon Race.
It's a 100-mile race.
What?
So the people that run it are running 100 miles.
Oh no!
So they're basically running for 24 hours. So,
Shame on them.
So we're brainstorming with them.
Is it a relay race? Is it one person running a ton?
No. It is not a relay race.
Who does these?
The biggest
Good question.
The biggest 100-mile race in the country is in Lake Tahoe, and it's in July. So this is a qualifying race to get into the biggest 100-mile race in the country. So we're talking to them. How can we make this?
You broke up a little bit. You there? There you go.
So we're
Say it again.
So we're going to have a 10K race to go with it, and we're going to have a 2-mile, which is one loop around, wine walk. So you walk around the perimeter of the vineyard one time with wine. And there'll be cones down the middle, so the 100-mile runners are lapping you, and you're walking with them at sunset.
I love that.
And we'll have a big barbecue afterwards.
You're
for
crazy.
Everybody.
Partner, you're crazy. I love you.
So we're in preliminary discussions, but if you or anybody listening here is a 100-mile runner, something to keep your eye out for. And if you just want to watch who's crazy enough to try to run 100 miles, you can walk it. And watch them.
100 miles. I mean, you think of like, a Kenyan can do like a marathon in what, a couple hours. 100 miles. I imagine your pace slows down. You talking what, 9 hours, 8-9 hours? What do these things take?
No, it's 24 hours.
24.
And
for what, 100 miles?
So this is all about finishing 100 miles. So you're allowed to take a break.
Oh, you got to.
Take a nap.
Yeah, take a nap.
Restore.
You just got to finish the 100 miles.
I get it. Okay, I get it. That sounds really exciting. I love how you guys have always had these kinds of visions, whether it's, Steve Hasselpops or that entertainment hospitality center you guys cooked up about a year or so ago. You guys are you never stop dreaming and you never stop doing. And that's what's so cool about you crazy people over there at CASS. That's why I love you. You never stop dreaming, you never stop doing.
So, Adam, if we want to pop those events up one more time, and I know that Michelle is actually ready with the camera to like tour you through a couple of rooms next.
Oh, I would love that.
I know we've got.
Are we going to give some rooms away?
Oh, that's coming.
Oh.
That's coming. Shh.
God.
So take a look at this right now. Take a look at these events really quick because we got just about, I'll keep it up for a few more seconds. These are the events that are coming down the pike with CASS. You see on the bottom right, Surf and Turf, that's around the corner. Even before that, the Around the World Dinner Series starts June 3rd, a trip to France. Well, look at that, 17th, Spain, Germany, then Morocco. I can't wait to see what Chef does with the Moroccan cuisine. And then you got, you guys are certainly busy. The estate beef dinners, This is its own separate series, and we're just coming out of the time to get 2 for 1 on those. You got maybe like less than 1 minute to get in that. Just go to, on any of these deals, simply head to the CASS Facebook page. Even if you're watching on the Krush Facebook page or the Cork Dorks, I know I also shared on my own. Anything you wanted, because we did dollar shipping a little while ago. We're going to do some good deals. Just go to the CASS Facebook page. You don't even need to go to the website. They will totally help you out, and we'll deal with you right in the comment section. And I see how responsive you guys are. You guys are just, your team is absolutely killing it. Yeah, let's, I can go to that, bring this one up right here. Is this what we're talking about?
Absolutely. There she is.
I love it. All right, now, should I keep her audio on, or is she going to talk too?
You can take her audio, you can take her audio off so you don't hear the wind, and we can
there we go, good. All right, cool. Let's kind of walk through and see. Why don't you guys narrate where she is now? Is she able to turn that camera to the side so it's a little bit more?
She should be able to. Well.
We went sideways. There we
go.
Yeah.
We'll keep it like that.
That's after the wine dinner.
Yeah.
So, while you can hear us, just swipe up and hit the unlock screen.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, swipe up on your phone. There you go, and hit that little lock, and it unlocks the side juxtaposition.
And then you can turn it to the side. But this is the changes room. So this is our high-tech room.
Well, actually, it's the handicap room.
Exactly.
And you know what it took to make 2 containers to be handicap accessible? it took 45 days for me to go through this with all the designers to make this handicap accessible. Again, it's a beautiful room. And they're so small. Think of they're 8 by 20, and then there's a 4'11" clear space between the 2 containers. But I love the space.
400 square feet.
Oh my God, that bathroom!
It's
bathroom
very large.
Well, and then what we did with the bathrooms is we put a glass wall in rather than do a thick wall that would take room. I did a 3/8 thick. It's an iron etched Starfire glass wall. So you can't really see through it, but you can, sort of.
That's light.
Silhouette.
Well, no, you see shadows. You see
just
shadows.
sexy shadows,
Yeah.
Everyone looks sexy.
Actually, I wanted clear glass, but Steve and I talked about that a lot.
Look at that. Now, what was the idea behind the decor? Who designed this, and what was the vibe that you wanted someone to kind of adopt and feel while they were there?
Well, there's a young lady that had worked with me for many years, Eliana. She's truly, she's my designer. But her and I have worked together on many large custom homes. And what we wanted to do here is be very simple. They're small. There's not a lot of furniture. It's small. Am I done, baby?
She's just small.
Stop looking at her.
Anyway, these things are small. We wanted it to be very crisp and very small and very simple.
Clean. Adam, the word is minimalistic.
Yeah, it looks super sharp.
It's just very sharp. It's very clean. My favorite thing is watching Ted get so freaking excited when he talks about the plumb lines of the doorways and everything. He geeks out on it, but it's awesome. So it's just beautiful, putting these guys together, making something out of industrial grade that is elevated.
Hey, do you guys hear that noise? You hear that noise? That Cork Dork theme song? You know what that means? That means we got another Cork Dork joining us right now. Ladies and gentlemen, Jeremy Wells!
Hey! Cheers!
What is up, my man? We're taking a tour through the GENESEO INN, Jeremy. This is an accommodations. We've been blessed enough to stay in a bunch of these kind of things. This one is next level. I'm going to show you some pictures of what's happening here at the GENESEO Inn. Where, remember, Jeremy, we talked about this when we were doing our hospitality show there.
Yeah, unbelievable. I mean, I know that you were taking shipping containers and those things, man, they travel all across the Atlantic and the Pacific. And man, I've seen them stacked up. I used to live in Seattle, and they're a sight for sore eyes. And I was like, what is Ted and the crew going to be able to do with these? Unbelievable. This is one of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. And the way you were able to perch them up. And then, are you combining multiple units together to create the experience, Ted?
Yeah, we are. There's 2 of them put together, 8x20s.
Wow, it's really something else.
And there's one, number 8, the bridal. It's an 8x20 and an 8x40, so it's a 2-bedroom.
Yes.
Wow, and you have vaulted ceilings. That's pretty impressive.
Well, we did that little clear story to create. First of all, the windows you can push a button and open for ventilation, but we created. That's the way in and out of them. 2 doors.
I was going to be wearing my sunglasses like Adam, but I had the Ted sunglasses, but I can't find them.
There, vintage Ted, right there, man.
I got to get another pair of vintage Ted because I use the vintage Ted's glasses to party, and sometimes when you party, you lose things.
Jeremy, you haven't seen this in a long time. Check out this picture. Remember this? Just because we saw the news yesterday on the fair. Remember that?
Oh my gosh! Look at that. There they are, the red ones.
Yeah, those are the glasses. Getting crazy with our friends at CASS here. So we've done everything from $1 shipping to buy one, get one for their event. Starting right now and up until 6:30, 50% off case specials. Mixed cases, you can do them. You can make a mixed case, do what you want to do. And I think we're going to get into some red wine right now. Are we ready, guys?
It's about time, for God's sake.
So, Jeremy, are you at home?
Yeah, I'm in my backyard, and I've already started with the Grenache. The Grenache. Yeah.
So we did the Viognier, we did the Oasis Rosé. We're into the Grenache now. As with all the wines here, there is a really cool story behind it. Ted, what's the story behind the Grenache?
Oh, you know what? Is Sterling up yet?
Yeah. Okay, yes. Sterling's coming.
How about we bring Sterling in? I want you to hear from the man. I want you to get the man in here. Because I can tell you about this, but I want my man to tell us about this.
There's a great story about Sterling as we bring him in, Adam, and you'll remember this because he told us, right when he started.
What is this? But the reason why this man...
See, no, apparently I stink because everyone else bailed. No, that's you.
The reason why he is here with CASS is because of our Grenache. And tell the story, brother.
Years ago, I was working at another winery and went to an industry party. Been there with you guys multiple times. And someone introduced us. They just said, hey, you got to meet this guy. This is Ted. He owns, part of CASS.
Was his shirt on or off?
Oh, man, I don't want to bring that up. It's scary. But, so they said, oh, you got to meet this guy, and it's towards the end. And so he goes to crack open a new bottle, or open up a new bottle this time. And it was Grenache. And I'm like, don't worry about it. It's towards the end. And, I'm not really a big fan of Grenache. And he poured it for me. I remembered that Grenache. I remembered how it tasted. Years later, I moved back from working in New Zealand, and I had stopped by this place. And I walked in, and I had my resume, just kind of did it out of the blind. He ended up being in the tasting room, and I was like, hey, and I didn't really remember his name, but I was like, hey, we met before at this party. And he's like, yeah, what are you selling? I was like, myself. And so I handed off my resume, and then I ended up taking a job at Justin. I was there for about a year, and then they called me up and was like, are you still interested in coming to work for us?
No, we stole them. We stole them.
There you go. Gangster winemaking. So the story I was about to tell was, Sterling, you told us this, it was one of your first or second vintages at CASS, and you had to start entering wines at the California Mid-State Fair for the Central Coast Wine Competition, and you went to these guys and said, hey, let's just enter them all, and what do you know? You win Winery of the Year.
Yeah, it was, I basically just did it to see, it was my first red wines and second whites here at CASS, so it was like my first full-on, vintage. And so I didn't even think about, Winery of the Year or anything like that. To me, I was just like, I wanted to see how I stacked up in the community. Passo's got amazing wines across the board. And then just to get that and get Winery of the Year, and then, you know, a couple years later, like I didn't want to be that flash in the pan or, you know, Rookie of the Year that busts his knee. Sure enough, a few years later, we were the first ones to win.
Well, I said,
Winery of the Year.
I go, dude, we should, you know, they won't let us win it every year, but we should.
Well, it's funny because, you know, before you jumped on, Jeremy, Steve brought up a good point, is that when you enter these wines in for the Central Coast Wine Competition, you know, the more you enter, it's actually harder on you because they all have to place. You know, so if you enter five, it's like enter your best 5, and a lot of people do just that. But when you enter 14, they gotta all do really well.
They all have to do it to make it, and that's fantastic. And the pressure had to be on after you won the first time. You probably didn't lose a lot of sleep there because you wanted to see how. But then to try to win it again or get those accolades, I mean, wow, that must really been a celebratory night.
Well, you know, and I thought, actually, I didn't really understand it, and I thought it might be more political or so. And so Steve and I thought $10, I got $10 in my pocket if I'm winning. But guess what happened that first year? The next weekend we did, like, instead of 90 lunches, we did 200, and we did 130 wine clubs that month. And I went, whoa, this is happening. And then to win it again, my brother.
Yep.
It's I love you. Thank you. Tell them about Tell them about this Grenache because it's unique for us.
We'll go back to what kind of brought it up. So the reason why this Grenache kind of stuck in my head is because it is much lighter than a lot of past Grenaches at the time. I think you're starting to see a few more kind of come back to this where it is a little bit lighter. It's a little more elegance to it. You know, we jokingly refer to it as a Paso Pinot. And it's just because this is kind of what came off of our vineyard. I'm not trying to over extract it or, you know, throw a lot of Syrah in there just to be worried about the color and darken it up. And what makes this gorgeous for like right now, summer wine, well, maybe not today. We got this weird wind today, but it's a gorgeous summer red because, you know, you just crave red. I love the rosé, and you can only handle so much whites when it's really hot out. You take this Grenache, you throw it in the fridge for a little bit, get it close to that cellar temp, like, you know, you almost would with a Pinot, and it's just so refreshing and beautiful.
The cool thing about this is the color. And, you know, there's so many Grenaches, and I think we've talked about it before, Adam. It's one of the most popular, most planted varietals all across the world, one of them. It might be up there with some other varieties. But, you know, and you can see it in so many different styles. And when you think of Paso Grenache, you don't think of something that is represented this way, you know, beautiful, elegant, light, you know, with the color anyways. And when you look at this right from the get-go, you can see there's something different and special about it than other Grenaches that you'll have up in Paso.
Well, you definitely are seeing that style come back around. Like I said, that kind of a little more elegance. I was actually really surprised. The 2015 was probably the lightest one I ever made. But it was
flavor.
It was
incredible,
gorgeous. It was just so floral and fruity. It ended up being like a 92 in a Advocate. And you know, Robert Parker, he likes big bold wines, and to grade something that's light like that was just humbling for me.
Well, you know, Sterling, I don't call it light. What I call it is it's more natural. This is what the vineyard gives us. You know, when we pick a bunch of Grenache on the you hold it up to the sun, you see the sun through it. We're going to let the vineyard, I call this my vineyard in a glass. Most people are afraid to let it be that. And it's just how we are, brother, you know?
So a lot of the style that you see in Paso Robles, you said Syrah earlier, because when I look at this, I think of a Grenache that is from a cooler climate, or like Santa Barbara County or something like that. A lot of the Grenaches come out a little bit more elegant than they do bigger extracted fruit. What is it that is so unique about the Geneseo district that lends to this Grenache?
I would actually speak more to our vineyard. We are in the Geneseo district, and we border Geneseo and Lennay. But something that's really unique is coming up Lennay Road, we border the Huajero Creek. With that, we get some of that Templeton West Gap breeze that kind of follows up the creek. And then if we had an overall shot of our vineyard, along the creek, we have a 3/4 bowl pit. And these guys live up on top of the hills and overlook the vineyard. But we get that breeze that comes up and actually settles here. So it's actually really cool outside right now. And if you just go over to the hills, to the other parts of Geneseo, it warms up quite a bit. So we get a huge temperature
We
swing.
get that 3-4 degree cooler on a normal.
So probably even more than that because it's
we get a little more time to let this ripen without being too hot, my brother.
which is also why like our whites that you guys were tasting do really well. Actually, our whites probably are a little more well known, but no one would expect that coming from the east side of Paso.
You know what, Sterling? The grapes know no notion of COVID or coronavirus or quarantining or
I'm supposed to be.
What is going on in the vineyards? How does 2020 look thus far? I've heard some Paso people saying it looks about just kind of like we are, like things were on hold for about 3-4 weeks. What does it look like in the vineyard? And then the cellar, how are things going as far as your barrel tastings, your blending, your bottling, and all those things?
I mean, this winter and spring and going into summer has been really weird. Not only for like coronavirus and I have an Australia shirt on. I know it's hard to remember, but Australia was on fire, earlier this year. The weather has been really weird this year. 2 days ago we were at over 100 degrees, and now it's 70 something and really windy. And we've seen this transition a lot. We had a lot of late spring rains. But overall, the vineyard, I think with those late spring rains, is looking awesome. And there's been nothing that has been detrimental so far. There hasn't been any of the strong winds that ruined like bloom like in 15. Everything's just looking pretty solid. So we'll have to see how summer pans out. As far as last year, I just finished going through most of our 19s, and that was a massive crop yield for us, and they're tasting great. I think it's, generally when we say, oh, there's nothing really significant that stood out, that means it was a good year. With as winemakers and vineyard managers, you always remember the bad stuff. So.
Well, every time I talk to Sterling, you had to work hard. It's good. But guess what?
It's during harvest. I always complain. No, this sucks. This is horrible.
I know, but guess what? You know what? I was up in Sonoma last week because I had to get off the ranch finally. I've been on stuff for like 10 weeks. They already have berry set. We don't have berry set. It's just starting to set right now. And if everything that I saw flowering, if sets, it's going to be a fabulous year, guys. I don't know. Does it look still?
It's looking that way. As long as we keep because of those late rains, and who knows, might even get a sprinkle tomorrow.
Yeah.
Just kind of keeping the canopy under control and, drop some fruit. I think it's going to be awesome.
Well, if there's anything good we could take away from, I don't know if this is, but at least coronavirus didn't affect our crops, right? And it didn't affect what's happening in the vineyard. And, I know that you guys were talking about this from the get-go, that, 2020 was going to be a fantastic vintage. Everybody was really excited about it. I'm looking over here at the comment feed of what's going on Facebook right now. I feel like we got an auction going on over here. People are buying cases, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
50% off, right, Adam?
Yeah, and what you can do is if you're listening, if you're watching this right now on the Krush Facebook or maybe perhaps the Cork Dorks Facebook, simply go to the CASS Facebook, just comment, and they have a whole team of people right now who are taking orders and taking care of you. You don't even have to go to their website. They will take care of you right in the comment section of the CASS Facebook page. All of these places are broadcasting this. You can see this on the Krush, Cork Dorks Facebook. The GENESEO INN has its own Facebook now, as well as, of course, CASS Winery. And that's where you want to be to get on some of these deals. And right now, if you comment, you're in to win a night at the GENESEO INN. We talked about this a little while ago. I mean, this place is so bomb. It's so nice.
Beautiful.
Jeremy,
it's beautiful.
Jeremy, you just missed the chef a few minutes ago. He came by, and you and I both love Benedict's. He brought this crab Benedict that was just ridiculous.
How did you try it if you're at your house?
No, I didn't try it. I'm just saying he brought one by.
I thought he came to your house. I'm like, you
see, like Charlie leaves the frame from Cass and like comes right there.
Because of this COVID thing, it's just, I know we were supposed to be out there today. We were supposed to be with you guys, and we just can't wait to hang out with you again. We just love hanging out with Steve and Ted and Sterling. You guys are such a great crew. I can tell that's Steve Cass. The problem is his face is behind the graphic that says Cass. So
let me get to that and move it, because you're right. He's totally blocked by it. That's pretty funny. It's like we're trying to take away his identity.
There he is.
It's like when you're watching a Dateline episode and you're like, and then there's that one guy who we don't want to tell you anything about.
Wait a second. Look at that hair.
Dude, the first thing we're gonna do is throw a massive party and show this off, so that you guys are gonna have to come out and take care of
I'm
that.
telling you what, you're starting to look more like Ted every day, Steve, with this coronavirus, no haircut. Look at that. That looks pretty wild.
Wild man, you.
Well, Alice refuses to touch my hair.
It's great to see you, Steve. How you been?
I'm doing great. So, do you guys remember the very first time you came to one of our wine blending parties? This is probably 4 or 5 years ago.
Oh, for sure. We got killed.
I'll tell you a really quick story. It was so bad because I had just won the Opala one, and I got the ribbon blend master. I was feeling like, oh, Jeremy, we got this. I got this blend. And then you do it a little differently where you vote for the one you want. We didn't even like our own blend.
It was blind, wasn't it? I think it was blind, and we didn't even vote for our own. Terrible.
That's funny. That's one of our most popular things that we do for our wine club people. This whole wine club blending party. And that year that you were there, I mean, everybody looks at you guys as being, a super, wine people, but no one really knows. No one.
I beg to differ. Hang on. you pay me to.
Well, I guess we fooled you guys because we didn't know anything. Obviously, we found that out, but we sure like to have a lot of fun, and you guys are always a lot of fun, and you guys just keep adding on. I mean, everything you've done in 2019 and 2020 to CASS, to the Geneseo area, it goes all the way back from what you're doing with the cafe, with the new barrel room, and now, of course, this beautiful boutique hotel.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we're excited about it. Very excited about it.
Oh, awesome. Right now, you can enjoy 50% off case specials. They will even let you mix that case up. Maybe you're feeling this 2019 Viognier. Maybe you want to get a bottle or two. I would suggest a bottle or three of the Oasis Rosé. Of course, you got to go red. Sterling has been killing it with these wines. It's ridiculous. And you can mix up that case, and they're going to slash the price in half right now. And also, you put a comment.
I don't know. Al, get in here, Al. Okay.
Who's that?
This is probably the managing partner of the whole company.
Oh.
Alice, introduce yourself. Come on, baby.
Hi. We're not slashing anything.
Yeah, we are. Yeah, we are.
Well, maybe just a little.
It's so nice to see you, Alice. How have you been?
I've been great. Thank you. I can't see my grandchildren, so that's been a little bit of a big disappointment for me. But yeah, I'm good.
By the way, we have stories between us three. We're the three core people. Remember when we used to do the once a month meetings in the early years?
The first rosé was supposed to be called Panty Dropper.
Stop it!
Alice said,
yeah, hey, but Al said no. We're okay. We're in. We're okay.
I love it.
Cass has kept Steve and I on track the whole time. Thank you, Alice Cass.
You're welcome.
I love you, baby.
Alice, let me ask you, when you look at some of the new developments, of course, the Hospitality Center a year ago, and now the Geneseo Inn, talk about what you feel inside watching this path and this journey just blossom into something so special.
oh, this should be good.
Steve, we're ready, right?
Well, it's my husband's dream. It's his dream, and yeah, I've been with him all the way, and
I love it.
I drug her from here to Chicago to New York, back to here, down here to Paso, and she's been a great a partner all along the way, and questioning everything I do.
Which is the right thing to do.
Well, Steve, she's kept us in check.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of that, Ted, Alice, I mean, what was it like? What were your first impressions of Ted? Because I've heard the first impressions from Steve, and
What do you mean, the first impressions of Ted?
well, I'm asking Alice, Ted, not you.
Go ahead, go for it.
Yeah, what were your first impressions of Ted?
well, I like Ted. And you know what? Ted is like the brother I never had, and I think we have a great relationship.
Oh.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's just like who he is. What you see is what you get. And I think you have to have a feeling about, I don't know, what is good and what is bad and what is in the middle. And Ted is like all of that. He's
A
a
little
great guy. I love him. He's my bro.
Well, and there's a little side story. There's this wonderful walk that you could do around our vineyard, but there's this hill down off from our property, and I call her the bitch.
No, you don't.
Well, she kills us.
Oh, the hell, not
But there's
me.
a
The hell, not Alice. Okay, you pointed at Alice, and you said I call her the bitch.
Well, if you
The
power,
walk.
but Dallas Cass,
You gotta do
I
it.
see her every day walking that almost for the last maybe 15 years.
Yeah,
And Alice Cass, we live in the most incredible place.
we do.
And we get to do that walk because it keeps us in shape. It keeps us young.
Yep. Yeah.
I didn't mean to say that word, but I love you.
You know, I think you guys have such something special going. Adam and I are so blessed that we get to meet so many neat people in this industry. And some partners are married, some partners are brothers. Other partners are friends. And I've never met two people that are so opposite but such great friends and have such a commitment to each other as you guys do. And obviously it shows you've had great success.
Sometimes, but he can't.
Oh, Jeremy, you missed a story a little while ago where Steve forgot where he parked his car on the property. That was
Oh, he lost his truck 2 weeks ago. So at the end of the night, I see this truck over there. I go, I better walk over and see if he's sleeping in his truck or not.
We better talk about something else. Okay, go on.
All right, move on. For Alice's sake, we'll move on. By the way, you got about 3-4 more minutes right now to get in all these case specials right now. You can mix and match your case.
I'm going to be allowed to say this.
And then they're going to slash the price in half. They're going to do a mixed case on this stuff, and they're only doing it up until 6:30. We'll put something else out after that, and then I'm like, wow, this
2 minutes
already.
2 minutes.
Yeah, right, 2 minutes, and then also leave a comment, and you could be in to win a night at the GENESEO Inn. Are you kidding? These are accommodations in mind. Look at these. Just look at these.
That's
So,
really nice.
Adam, sorry, I need to add into what you're saying.
Please.
Yes, 50% off a mixed case. We make a ridiculous amount of wines. So we're just tasting a few right now. Go on our website. You have it listed, casswines.com, and take a look at what we have for sale right now. And then like you said, you only got a few minutes. But I mean, if you want sparkling Viognier to our reserve to a late harvest, we got pretty much everything.
We're just looking at video right now. Folks, our viewers are looking at video of the GENESEO Inn. Do we know by just looking at this video which room we're talking about right now, Steve, or anyone of you? I think that's Ebony and Ivory, or this is Ebony and Ivory. This is the room I want to stay in. This is my favorite room. And I know you got different themes for all of them, but we got a couple minutes left. You can put a comment in. Maybe you could win a night here. And maybe
What is it about this room that you love so much? Is it the bidet, Adam?
I think
bidets are good to go. I love a bidet, mate. But I don't know. I love the Stevie Wonder song, Ebony and Ivory. I just love black and white. He's got this old barnwood. It's like 200-year-old from like a Missouri barn behind the bed. It's like sick. Oh, it's so dope. Look at that. Damn.
Really nice. Really beautiful. And I love how everybody has a little patio that they can just set out and enjoy a glass of wine and overlook the vineyards. I mean, how peaceful and nice would that be? I mean, that just looks amazing. I can't wait to come out and see it in person, guys. I'm real curious to know, I mean, from you guys, what is it that you're really looking forward to once, everything we can get back to some sort of a normal and we can all get together again and you guys can have an event at the winery. Is there something you're already thinking about? What does the future hold?
Lots
Lots of parties.
Chanda and her team of event managers are working really hard to line up things that are 6 months, 9 months, a year out.
Yeah.
We've actually got a lot of 2021 wineries,
Weddings.
weddings
Yeah.
lined up.
Yeah.
So we want to get back into
partying again.
So we're actually rolling things out, Jeremy, just so you know. We're rolling out some events even starting next week. We're just keeping it very petite. We're keeping it intimate, 10-person dinners. So we're rolling that all out for June. And then in July, we're hoping we'll be able to bump those numbers a little bit, and then consequently again in August. But really, our heart here is about true hospitality. It's about Paso Robles hospitality, which is all about farm to table, amazing wine, and just incredible conversation around the table. Just everybody in our community is so good natured and down to earth. And, you know, there's no pretension. We all are like pursuing excellence in what we do, but we really, really like when push comes to shove, we're approachable. It's not about being pretentious. It's about having excellent pursuit of what we do. Excellent wine, excellent food, excellent. I mean, even the decor of our events, it's pretty fabulous. But then you add on the Geneseo and it's like, holy cow.
Holy cow is right.
Yeah, I mean, I want to go. I mean, my idea would be to come out, do the event, the dinner, whatever it is, stay at the Geneseo Inn. So, you know, I mean, and that's available right now. People can actually start booking.
Yes. People are actually staying currently, so you guys can get your bookings. We have availability even this weekend, but the first half of June is completely booked because we are honoring and respecting that 50% capacity for our county, and so that means we can only do 4 units at a time. So make sure you get your spot because they go really quick. And yeah, it's kind of fun that we've got lots of people who are basically doing staycations, wanting something that's elevated and beautiful in Paso Robles without having to go far from home, obviously. That's why we kind of designed the around the world dinners, because it's like people are not traveling. Let's have like a little bit travel experience together. We can stamp our passports together at CASS Winery. And so, yeah, people coming up from LA and just, you know, wanting a retreat. That's what's amazing. And, you know, Stephen and Ted are always talking about how this is our oasis. This is our little piece of space outside of the crazy. And it's kind of nice to be able to come here and stay and be away from the crowds and just enjoy your space.
Well, I got the screen up for a second so you can look at some of these dinners right now. The Surf and Turf is around the corner. We talked to Chef about that. But even before that, the Around the World dinner series on your top left kicks off June 3rd. He is going to go crazy French on you with that menu. We already talked about how you're going to end with, like, it's going to be super culturally, like, boom, on, nailed down, and with cheese, all the fixins. You're going to go to Spain, Germany, Morocco. These estate beef dinners look, I did that earlier, beef dinners look really good, completely with the Ted's beef that they got going on. I don't know what looks good to you, Jeremy, but all of these would be so rad. And what they're doing is they're really making it, you know, because of everything going on, they're trying to be thoughtful as far as, you know, spacing. It's going to be limited seats there. So if you want to get in, now's the time to get in on those dinners. And because it's after 6:30, Jeremy, we got another wine to taste and we got another deal to offer.
It's time.
Yeah, let's bring out the Mourvèdre, right? The 2018 Mourvèdre. And we're also there's going to be a giveaway for a night stay at the Geneseo Inn, right, Adam?
Yeah. You just got to put some in the comment section. Make sure that you can put this. I mean, we're broadcasting right now on the Krush Facebook, Cork Dorks Facebook, Geneseo Inn Facebook. If you want to make any orders or get in for any of these promotions, simply bounce over to the CASS Facebook. They have the same video broadcast we're doing here, and they have a whole team that are monitoring the comment section, and they're going to be able to hook you up. Right now, it's so good that we got Sterling in the room because we're going to get into the Mourvèdre. What is going on, my man, with this Mourvèdre?
Mourvèdre, baby, because I'm a Mourvèdre freak. So in 2005, I talked to this man and a guy named Louis Kotsia, who was our first winemaker from South Africa. And I go, we're going to make 100% Mourvèdre. But you know what you guys said? It'll never sell. You said that, by the way. It's our best-selling wine.
Is that right?
Yeah, and guess what? CASS is going to be the Mourvèdre house of the whole valley because it's truly one of our best wines.
It's our secret sauce.
Yeah, yeah.
If we're trying to make wine a little bit more palatable to the general public, add a little bit of Mourvèdre to it, and killer.
Yeah, but
Let me elaborate.
Yeah. Ow!
So I started. They've been doing a straight Mourvedre since '05, and it was doing really well. I've started using it for everything. I started making the rosé that you tasted is primarily Mourvedre based. When I took over the Rockin' One became Mourvedre based. We have the single varietal Mourvedre. I've even thrown a little Mourvedre a couple times into the reserve. So
and I thought you were crazy doing that, but I love you.
Say it's a secret sauce is partially true, but every time I tell him this is a huge pain in the ass.
What is it about the Mourvedre that makes it, one, obviously a good blender, because obviously GSMs, it plays a role in a lot of different blends. But then, kind of answer that, Sterling. But then also, what about this specific lot where these grapes came from that make it so great to stand on its own?
That's, kind of once again back to our vineyard. Steve's motto has always been great wine starts in the vineyard. As I talked about with the heat differential where we are, we get hot enough to where we can actually ripen Mourvedre. With that, there's some issues in the vineyard that we have to be on top of, and we take care of it, and then just treating it right, not trying to over extract it. I know you guys have been out there, but if you're having some, French Mourvedres or Modestrals from Spain, they tend to be very tannic and, pretty acidic too. And so this is just kind of balancing it out, trying to find it where you get the flavor, you get the spice, maybe a little tobacco to it, but and that it just is nice to drink. And so, it's a pain in the butt.
So tell them about Damas Noir.
So
our first reserve Mourvedre.
Ooh.
Hasn't been released yet. It's
well, I've actually drank 12 cases.
Yeah, it's really nice right now. But we were talking about the Mid-State Fair and the Central Coast Wine Competition. So for 2018, when we won Winery of the Year again, the Mourvedre was actually the best overall red, which is kind of crazy. Even being out here, you would expect like a cab or a GSM, just something very typical to win. But to have a single varietal Mourvedre win was amazing. And then right after that one, Steve came to me, and this was in 2017, and he was like, hey, what do you think about making or I think it was 2018, he came to me after we won. Yeah. Sorry. And he said, what do you think about doing a reserve Mourvedre? And I'm like, Steve, I'm already on it.
He already had it gone.
For 2017, I changed up. I did small lots of different ways of making Mourvedre. And I was just did a Zoom conference with PRWCA the other night talking about this. But I just made it a bunch of different ways and then selected kind of the best barrels from each version and blended it, and it worked. And it's tasting incredible.
How do you make it different ways, Sterling? Are we talking about using different oak, like 100% new French oak, or 50, or Hungarian, or walk us through that a little bit?
All right, I'm gonna look crazy. So, one of the things I absolutely love about working here is they let me do whatever I want, and they don't bother me. And I think it started when I did a 13 Malbec, and I didn't tell you guys.
Yeah, he hid that shit from us. He hides wine from me.
I hid about 10 barrels, and I bottled it. And Steve on the bottling line is like, we're doing a Malbec? I'm like, yeah, we are. And then that Malbec ended up winning multiple best of classes, all this stuff.
Do you worry a little bit that you're going to catch some shit? Things are going to go sideways, or you're just because in radio we have this term that it's better sometimes to ask for forgiveness before permission.
Exactly. I was like, I kind of knew it was good, and I just kind of went with it, and sure enough, everyone else thought it was good. So
it's not a bad business model to hire really good people and let them do what they're good at.
And let them do their job.
Very true.
Cheers
to that.
I was looking to try to just beef up the mid palate a little bit. So I did multiple experiments. I had a shade cloth in part of the vineyard where I made those two side by side. I did a stem inclusion lot. I did a lot where I dried out the stems on burlap for about 4 days while it's cold soaking, and then threw that into the fermentation. And then a few different types of oaks, and ended up combining that. And it kind of the random thing that I kind of have too that a lot of people don't have is I was using some Russian oak on this. So Yeah.
Hey.
So if you're asking like what I did, it is a variety of everything.
Russian inclusion going on here.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Russia had trees.
Bad us.
So I had stem inclusion. I had dried rakia, shade cloth, Russian oak. I threw a little bit of everything on this, and I'm surprised how it came out, and it's going to be doing amazing.
Well, it's the most incredible wine. You know, I'm a Mourvèdre freak. I go to Bandol. I love to drink with my brothers down there. I don't speak French, but I speak wine. I've shipped our wine there to taste with them at Tempeh, and they only wish they had our fruit. Now, these guys are incredible. They love our Mourvèdre there. So, good job, brother.
Great job. Now, let me ask you, because I was scrolling through Instagram today, and I saw Trevi at Lene Colodo pulling some, well, he thought it was Mourvèdre when they bought it, but it ended up being Graciano. Did you guys get bit by that Graciano goof?
No, and I'll let Steve explain that about our NTOV certification. All of our vines are French certified, if you want to elaborate at all.
So NTAV, ENTAV. If you online, ENTAV.fr.
I never try to explain it because I say the only French I think I can't repeat on the radio right now. So
We're not on the radio. You can say whatever you want. Drop the F-bomb. Boom.
So on
No one can see here, Sterling.
they do for growers in France. UC Davis does for growers in California. So what they'll do is when they decide they want to come up with a new clone, they'll plant it and monitor it for, I think it's 4 years, maybe 5 years. I don't remember exactly. But they'll do quite 4 or 5 acres. And every year they'll take out vines that pop out too early or they pop out too late. The crop is too heavy, the crop is too light, the crop is virus, any problems whatsoever it comes out. So at the end of the year, when they certify it as a clone, they will provide cuttings through an agreement they have with the USDA to nurseries here in California. And that's where we got all of our vines.
That was like we were the first, one of the first vineyards planted in 1999.
one of the first to be fully planted.
One of the very first ones. So we've got some super good fruit. It ripens at the same time. So instead of having, we want to pick at 24.5 bricks on average, approximately. But you don't want the range to be 23 to 27. You want the range to be 24 to 24.75 or something like that. You want a really tight range. And that's what having on-top certified vines gets us. So it makes his job easier.
Even though he complains continually.
He
complains continually.
That's
Now,
great.
Sterling, have you taken this time where things have been, different and there's like this new normal? Of course, we talked earlier before you jumped on with us that obviously the grapes know no notion of COVID they're not stopping. Your work in the cellar is not stopping. Have you used the rows and walking down the rows and seeing the way things are growing just to kind of like take some deep breaths and just like feel it? Is this something that you do almost like as like a spiritual reset just to be down those rows and get to know them even deeper?
It's funny you should say that.
It's been a combination because honestly, the past few months I've been the only one working here, so I've been slammed. I have been in the cellar and just doing the everyday stuff. But a few months ago, or actually got a month ago, Steve thought it was a nice idea to buy these electric e-bikes and to take out in our vineyard to go do picnics and stuff. Well, it just so happens that actually I used to race downhill bikes in college, and then I worked at a bike shop. And so he shows up with these things, and I just kind of like threw them together. Well, I probably shouldn't have because now I happen to be the in-house mechanic. So every once in a while, I just jump on one of these bikes, and I just go cruise around the vineyard. And I'm like, this is my new favorite way to check out the vineyard. I'm not taking
I love it.
out or walking. It's like I take the bike out, cruise around the vineyard a little bit. It's gorgeous.
Well, you ride a bike anyways, don't you? Have a motorcycle?
Yeah, I got a motorcycle too.
I remember, what was it? I don't know, 4 or 5 years ago, Adam, you and I are at the fair. It's like 98 degrees. Dude shows up in his leathers, and I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I rode here.
I'm parking, that's why. It was easy to park.
Well, and this is so much fun. We got Steve Cass, Ted Clements. We had Sterling, he's the winemaker at Cass. And you can get 30% off this beautiful inn they're sitting in right now, that they have the GENESEO Inn, the boutique hotel, up for about another 5 minutes. There it is. About another 5 minutes up until 6:50. They're offering 30% off your stay. Book it now. Some great deals have gone out on mixed cases, full cases, and now you can take advantage of the GENESEO Inn.
Look at that.
We do have someone who can tour you guys through another room or two.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah, you want to walk us through? Yeah, let me do this. Let's go ahead.
Let's do it. Let's do
take
it.
this off. Cool. Let's see what we're talking about here.
Oh, there we go.
Absolutely. So this is actually the White Rabbit room, which kind of had to happen. So all of the names of the GENESEO Inn are actually birthed from songs, because our culture here at CASS is deeply rooted in music. And what?
You hippies.
Hippies. And so with this room, we had to do one White Rabbit to honor Miss Alice Cass. Get it? Wink, wink. Alice.
Yes.
Yeah. So this has some beautiful whimsy. It's got the whitewashed Missouri barnwood, and
Alice,
I think, and yes, my favorite part is actually in the bathroom. It's the Alice blue tile. It looks like a waterfall. It's just gorgeous. And then I love all of the granite and slab as well, because it's got this beautiful swirly pattern, very kind of dreamy. So it's a beautiful, and you can see it's got like the river rock. You feel like you're kind of, on an adventure in the woods in Wonderland. So this is, and I don't know if you guys know this, but actually, I think we have the bottle here. I want to show you. I'm going off camera for a moment.
It's absolutely amazing, though. I mean, from what you guys were talking about, Steve and Ted, to what we're seeing today is, I mean, I had a vision of what I was thinking, but I had no idea it was going to be this complex and beautiful. Wow.
So you can see the aesthetic of Miss Alice Cass. We've got our sparkling Viognier, and she actually designed the bottle. So you see the beautiful white rose, and it definitely goes with that room.
Absolutely.
Jeremy, earlier in the broadcast, Steve was explaining the architect, and a really critical team member he looks like Doc Brown from Back to the Future, and he's like kind of crazy. But Jeremy and I have been trying to sell, to our bosses, like, hey, crazy is good. Crazy is a little smart. Crazy is a little fun. And, and you see, I mean, you look at the deliberateness and the thoughtfulness that was part, you didn't throw this together. Like, you guys did this right. And really, when Cass, the hospitality, this is all going to come full circle. This is going to be a very, very special experience. And let me ask you, Steve, why was this, because Jeremy and I have talked a lot about how Paso is now very much offering experiences. You can't just belly up to a tasting room bar anymore. You could zip line over vineyards. You can do this, you can do that. Why was it important to, a year ago, offer the hospitality center in the way you did and everything that went into that, but then to offer the experience like this with the GENESEO Inn?
Okay, I can answer that.
Come on in.
I hope I look skinny. I don't know.
You look great, Alice.
Thank you, bro. I know I don't.
No, it's just been
So Alice, why?
Go, girl.
Go, girl.
So answer the question.
It's been a dream, and I guess the operative word here is authentic.
Yes.
We're authentic. We're real. And it's reality and it's real. Does that make sense? Oh my God.
Yes, it does.
Well, I'd like to say something, because my partner comes to me 6 years ago and he goes, I have a vision. I want to do an event center, but I want to do a B&B. And I go, really? Really?
Yeah.
Because guess what? I
had to build it.
We had to do it. And I looked at him and I go, I'm in, partner. I'm in. And guess what? We did it. And it was a real process.
Yeah.
So what I would say, we're recruiting somebody that wants to have a very expensive event. I mean, it might be $100,000 wedding or something like that.
Yeah.
And when they're looking around, they're thinking, what are all the other options? And the one thing we're deficient in is we didn't have a place for the people to stay. So I can't put a hotel here, but I can put a 8-room B&B in. And 8 rooms will cover the bride, the groom, the president, the vice president, the organizer, the president.
All I can say is,
I think you meant the wedding party.
Right. Wait a minute. Did Trump stay at the GENESEO Inn already?
For a fun night.
Is that what he said, Jeremy?
Go off to a nice hotel nearby.
what's awesome is you can only imagine the wedding celebrations. Basically, is what's coming down to. The weekends are going to be pretty dialed in, you guys.
That's what's great. And Adam and I have been there, but for people that haven't been there, and these are beautiful. The new boutique hotel, the GENESEO Inn. But talk about some of the other stuff on the grounds that people can experience and appreciate while they're there.
Well, the number one thing that we're interested in selling is the event space. We can do
barrel.
We can do. Thank you.
It's already signed off.
We can do 200 people there, and we have an amazing chef. They can do nice events, and the organizers can stay here. That's kind of why we did it.
Chanda, could you elaborate on some of our other stuff?
Absolutely, for sure. So yeah, we actually are doing all sorts of things on it. And one of the things that we have going on is our CASS Camp experience, which we talked about a little bit earlier. We have an amazing partnership with Central Coast Trail Rides. How long have they been on our property?
Coming for about a year. Well, they've been coming for multiple years, but it's recently we just decided to kind of.
But for multiple years they've been coming and doing rides on our property. And now it's just this really beautiful partnership where people can really experience the 145 acres of gorgeous vineyard. We have planted 145 acres, and there's wonderful roads, and we have the reservoir, which is amazing. When you see the light hits it, it's just gorgeous.
And they cut their own trail up in the hills, actually. So one of their options, you can go up and go bother these guys by their property.
And my dog will come out and mess with you, by the way.
Come down the hills. It is gorgeous view from the top of the hills.
And we just birthed a package for electric bikes and a picnic on the vineyard. So again, that was kind of the heart of that was just kind of to embellish the experiences at GENESEO Inn. But it was really lovely timing with all of this COVID craze.
Right.
Needing to kind of separate. This gave people a way of, other than just going on a hike somewhere random, they could come just the two of them on an electric bike, have a picnic lunch with a bottle of wine, and take the electric bike around the property, be off to their own with each other, and it turned out to be such a positive thing. People were loving it. So we actually.
Well, I know Sterling loves it. I mean, he talked all about it. So
that sounds.
I love taking care of it, but I love just being able to jump on it and be like,
no, I'm gonna jump on those things and try it. I'm gonna do that.
I don't know if Jeremy had jumped on yet, but we talked earlier how you guys are almost doing like CASS GENESEO Inn camp. It's a camp for adults. It's like horseback riding, underwater basket weaving, beach so many things, wine blending, archery. I mean, you literally have got so many experiences to offer folks.
Exactly. We really wanted to create a retreat experience here where people could just have fun. It's like adult summer camp. Come here, hang out, enjoy the property, really make it your own. Cater your experience to what your interests are. When we began the project of the Barrel Room and the GENESEO Inn, the county really wanted us to do some ag education classes for our permitting, and we were like, that's like totally we love that. So we've taken that and we've taken it a step further. So yes, we're going to have our beekeeping classes, we're going to have our olive oil pressing classes and our wine blending classes, but we're going to have fun things that are like team building, just fun. Educational things like cooking competitions and archery and horseback, the horseback ride.
Somebody's got to come and harvest a cow with me.
And this is his dream, his dream.
I'm on my way.
No way. You're not going to harvest the cow.
You could.
Boys.
I don't see Adam having the stomach for that.
You don't think so? You don't think I'm cowboy enough?
I was on a cattle ranch for 7 years. No, I don't think you're a cowboy up enough.
I was thinking about it today. This has become, and when I was walking around, this has become an all-inclusive wine experience.
Yeah.
Yes.
We will provide everything that you could possibly want to do in wine country and have a lot of fun doing it.
So here's
Do you have any you have reclamation ponds on property, right? That hold water.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's already putting fish in it. We're working on.
There you go. Put some Florida spotted bass in there, and
The principle is we're in a world where wine tasting has become a recreation. And more than just walking into a tasting room, we wanted to offer more and make it so that people can have a weekend experience where they really felt like they got a retreat from San Fran or SAC or LA. They could come here and play.
You definitely offer more.
We have actually selected a giveaway winner.
Oh, have you really?
We have.
Well, let's announce it. I do want to say who's doing the GENESEO INN tour. I want to give her props. She's doing such a good job.
She is. Michelle.
And Michelle, you're killing it. And Michelle, you can turn the camera around so I can see you. I love it. What room is this? Because this is so beautiful, and I know you have one room that actually has 2 patios.
Suite.
Okay.
So this is our At Last suite, and this is actually what our brides get to use, but anybody can rent it. It's actually made from 3 shipping crates versus 2, and what I really love about this room, you guys, is that it does have that wraparound balcony porch. So it has the same type of porch that all the other units have, but this one has the wraparound, so it's completely private. It looks to vines in the hills, and you can literally entertain and have your friends and just have like a great weekend.
I bought
a 1 bedroom.
I bought that one.
Oh. Yeah, is that a 1 bedroom or is there 2 bedrooms or?
It's 1 bedroom with a living room with a pull-out couch.
Wow,
with a big mattress for a nice sleep.
Yeah. Like she was saying, it's
Pull-out couch with this amazing view.
Yeah, I had no idea, by the way, this was live. I thought these were just videos you'd recorded earlier we were playing back. So that's pretty good. I'm like, wow, the timing is really working out. She just brought up the shower, and now she's in the shower.
We're ballsy over here. We don't care about it.
See, this is all COVID technology. That's what this is.
Oh my God, who designed this stuff? Looks so sharp. I love the minimalist. I love the texture. Colors are dope. It just feels like super like high end, but like it doesn't ever leave Paso vibe. Like it always like encompasses a Paso vibe, but it's super luxurious too. Not like those two can't be together, but they just accomplish it together.
You can imagine that's where brides would be getting ready. That's a beautiful, it lights up, and it's a beautiful vanity for gathering the girls around and getting their makeup done. So kind of fun.
That's where the Cork get ready. That's where the Cork are going to get ready and put product in her hair for the next event that we do there.
Exactly.
So before we hit 7 o'clock and we wrap things up, I know you have a winner to announce, but we should also talk about how people can experience CASS in person. And obviously, you can go to the website, but some of the fun things that they could be a part of again.
Well, actually, I want to interject here a little bit.
We only got a couple minutes. We're going to need.
Stop that. But this is that Damas Noir. Put that.
Ooh.
Look at that. It's a reserve.
You got to bring it up closer, Ted. This is like virtual.
Okay.
50% off right there.
Ooh, Adam, I really like doing it this way until he just brought out that wine and I don't have it here to try.
Yeah.
Now I just realized why this can't work forever.
That's beautiful. What a beautiful
bottle. That looks like a fun one, Ted.
Actually, bad Ted.
But I agree. Stop giving my stuff away.
Yeah, sorry. No. Hey, wine we got, money we need, so buy some, for God's sake.
All right, we're going to recap everything, and I want to hear a few words from Ted, Sterling, Chanda, and Steve when we wrap up. But Jeremy is right. We do have a winner to announce. Chanda, why don't you announce who won a night at the GENESEO INN?
So we have a night at the GENESEO INN with a bottle of the sparkling Viognier, and it goes to Lisa Taylor.
Yeah, Lisa Taylor.
Nice. All right, let's get some final words. First of all, this is the first time the Cork Dorks have been together. It's like post-COVID BS, and it's so nice to see Jeremy. I really wish we were together in person and we're together in person with you guys. But from the bottom of my heart, it's so nice to see you guys, to drink and with you, hang out, chat, catch up. Like, man, I have needed this more than a haircut. You know what I mean? Like, this is what it feels good, guys. Cheers. Cheers to that. Sterling, talk about the rest of 2020 before we see you again, and what are some of the things you're going to be up to, and let say goodbye to folks.
It's kind of a good thing that we made a lot of wine for 2019 and 2020 is looking well, because this guy keeps selling all of it at a ridiculously cheap price. Yes, giving it away. All my hard work and labor. So it's a good thing we got good vintages coming up. We're going to have a bunch of good wines. And seriously, our next industry party, we really look forward to having you guys here and actually getting people in here to show off. Working on. Coming to be on the ramp.
Right. All right, we got to give Alice the final word. Alice, I'm going to mute GENESEO INN because I'm kidding. Alice, get a last word.
Last
word. In line.
Okay.
Oh, what a gentleman.
Last word.
Yeah, this is
Last 30 seconds. Give her a chair.
I hope the girls make me look skinny.
What's she talking about? I can't even.
I love it.
Yeah.
Speak up.
Alice, thank you for keeping all these people in line.
Thank you, Alice.
You're very welcome. It's a challenge.
I can only imagine, girl. I can only imagine. Ted, before Steve comes back, let people know what's up. Obviously, these events, I'm going to throw these up one more time. Some events coming online. You got to get involved, but what is kind of the main thing you want people to know right now, Mr. Ted Plemons?
I just want you to know that we're open and it's pure here, and watch out for CASS because we're ready, baby. We're ready, baby. Yeah.
I love it. I love it.
Very nice. CassWines.com is the website. You can go there to, of course, stay, to book an event, to book your dinners, to get out and taste. The cafe is solid. Can't wait to come see you guys again. It was great to see you as always. Steve, cheers, my friend. Ted, Sterling.
We need some final words from Steve. Give us something, Steve. Give us some final words, please. Take us out, Steve.
Good night, guys. Thank you.
Hey, all these things end so awkward. We're gonna end. We're gonna cheers. We're gonna be jubilant on the count of three, like we're team going into life. 1, 2, 3. Cheers, guys. Bring it.
Cheers. Yeah.
Hey.
And now it's awkward.